Vamos! We are live on YouTube, and Rafa Nadal, you are a beast. You are just a beast. It's not even fair. It's not even funny. You're just beating up on everybody again, Rafa. All these young guys. It's like crazy. Even Rafa made a joke like, you know, how people are not playing Davis Cup, how the veterans are not playing Davis Cup because they're old. He's like, it's true, and maybe the young guys, they need to step up more. But man, it's not even looking like a fair fight. Rafa wins his 11th Monte Carlo tournament. I mean, think about that. One tournament 11 times. I don't see anyone stopping him. Ollie's already on. He says, I don't see anyone stopping him apart from maybe Delpo, Isner, if they're on fire. Diego says, unbelievable. So we are live right now. If you're just watching us on the replay, just to see Rafa at his best last year, he comes up with this performance. Yeah, guys, I mean, you talk about an in-your-face statement to start the clay court season, especially when Rafa went out of, we already have one like, by the way. We have 13 people watching. Thank you for watching. Give this a thumbs up. I'm Pete from Crunch Time Coaching, and it's awesome. I'm super excited for this live broadcast because I love Rafa Nadal. You know, I love Roger too. If you follow me, you know that. But I mean, I'm about to cry. I'm so excited. I love Rafa, and especially watching that man play on clay. It's like you've got Rafa from Roland Garros. And yeah, I mean, he is just awesome. And he had so many question marks coming into the clay court season, the way he went out against Cilic at the Australian Open, because we know, Rafa's biggest rival besides Roger is his own body, right? I mean, that's it. No one's held Rafa back more than, unfortunately, his injuries, because he plays just so fierce. And so he entered another clay court tournament a couple weeks ago and had to pull out. So you're wondering, how's Rafa going to respond? Is Rafa going to be healthy? I mean, that's, I think, what everybody's waiting for, is when are the wheels going to fall off physically? Because if he goes out there on the tennis court and he's healthy, even if he's 85% on clay, he's just so much better than everybody. Do we all agree with that? And he comes out and just destroys everybody. He destroys everybody. I have who he beat. He didn't drop a set. So in this tournament, let's see, I guess it started on the 18th for him. He won his first match 6-1, 6-3. Then he wins his next match 6-3, 6-2. He plays Thiem in the quarterfinals. Guys, let me know. I didn't see that match. I watched the highlights. They didn't say anything about him being injured. He beats him 6-0, 6-2. And Dominic is one of the few people who I would go, maybe he's got a chance. Maybe, I think besides, let me know what you guys think. Besides Nadal, he is probably one of the best clay court players in the world. I mean, he loves clay. If anybody's going to challenge him, if any of these young guns are going to challenge Rafa on clay, he would be one of the guys. And he beats him 6-0, 6-2, destroys Grigor. So anyway, what we're going to talk about on this live broadcast, we're going to talk about the tournament, which we're already starting. So number one, we're talking about the tournament. Number two, I want to talk about the historical accomplishment here, winning this for the 11th time. And I want everybody watching this to kind of think about any sport out there, and is there any accomplishment like what he does on clay in any sport? I'm just going to throw some things out there, like Lance Armstrong with a Tour de France. I mean, is there anything more impressive what this guy does on clay? Hard to see a player who pushes Nadal to the limit on clay. Dominic, no way. With that one-hand backhand, you need a guy like Isner. I mean, if you're pulling out Isner, yeah, I mean, Isner would have to serve out his mind, but 3 out of 5 sets on clay, I don't think so. I think he got as close to sniffing victory on clay against Rafa as he'll ever get when he had him up 2 sets. Rafa's not going to let that happen again. So we want to talk about the historical accomplishment of winning this 11 times. I just noticed I had a piece of chocolate on my finger in the camera. I'm sorry for that. And then the French. Can anybody stop Rafa? If it's good, who can it be? And then finally, how many of these things can Rafa win? How many of these things can Rafa win as far as French Open? So let's get into it. I mean, unfortunately, it's not going to be very interesting to talk about the tournament because Rafa just made it pretty boring and routine, not dropping a set. Easy to say 11, but this is a legendary moment in sports we're witnessing this record. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So he played a couple guys with some potential. I think, didn't Nishikori a couple years ago take it to Rafa on clay? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Nishikori took it to Rafa a couple years ago on clay. Dimitrov almost had Rafa at the Australian Open last year. And Dominic Thiem, to me, is one of the only true contenders in the entire clay court season, and he beats him 6-0, 6-2. So Rafa somehow has gotten even more far ahead of the field this year, being a year older than maybe he was last year if he keeps up on this pace. And again, I think the only thing that could possibly slow Rafa down is if something starts nagging him. If he feels good, the level that he's playing at, no one's going to touch because he actually beat some pretty good players in this tournament. He will win. Okay, Diego says, and we'll hold this, we'll table this, but Diego says he thinks he's going to win 4 more French Opens easily, he says. And you know what? It's going to be hard to argue with that. So this tournament here, Rafa has now won for the 11th time. And last year was the La Decima, right, thing where he went and he won 3 of the clay court tournaments 10 times, which is crazy. Think about that. 3 tournaments, 30 trophies. 3 tournaments, 30 trophies. He might be able to make it now 3 tournaments, 11 times, 33 trophies this year. I think he's going to do that. I think he's going to do that. And when you look at this, is there anything in sports close to winning 3 tournaments 11 times? Is there a more dominating stat than that? And we're not just talking about tennis. We're talking about pull-out cycling, pull-out basketball. You know, think of Michael Jordan. I want you to think of the best of the best, the greatest of the greatest, Tiger Woods, Serena Williams. Think of any sport. And I don't care if it's some chess tournament. I need someone to challenge this stat. Is there anything out there? I cannot think of one thing, even including how awesome Roger Federer is, and he has the 19 Grand Slams. That's one thing, and I still do think Roger is the greatest player of all time. But when you look at just dominating a certain aspect of tennis, which is the clay court, is there anybody in any sport even close to this? Diego, you need a guy like Nishikori, Djokovic, Murray with a powerful 2-handed backhand to take Nadal's cross-court beating. That's right. Nadal will beat you up cross-court. He will beat you up. But who's going to do that? I mean, Djokovic doesn't look ready yet. Murray, I don't even think he's going to play clay. That's the beauty of tennis. You have all these different statistics that you can reach for. If Olympic was more than every 4 years, Bolt's achievements would be on par with Nadal. Yeah, that's true. Maybe, okay, well, there you go. You've seen Bolt. That's true. But the swimmer, who's the swimmer who's escaping me? Maybe that is how many Olympic swimming gold medals does Michael Phelps have? Is that as impressive a stat as what Nadal is doing? Who thinks that that's more impressive? And of course, the Olympians have a severe disadvantage to someone who plays it year after year. But I'm just trying to think of any stat that's even close to what Rafa is doing right now. And I can't think of one. I'm thinking of all my favorite tennis players. I love all sports. I love basketball, baseball. I can't think of anything that's even on par. I think this is one of the greatest accomplishments in the history of sports, to win a tournament 11 times, and he has the chance to win 3 tournaments this year 11 times. That is sick. This goes right up there with Phelps' accomplishments. That's right, says Diego. If you're on right now, give this a thumbs up. If you've never subscribed or don't know who I am, I'm Peter Freeman with Crunch Time Coaching, and we teach tennis here on YouTube. He's only lost 2 matches at Roland Garros. That's insane, says Ali. Yeah, I mean, the guy is just amazing. I'll be interesting to see what my buddy Matt from Coffee Break Tennis, he's due for a Coffee Break Tennis show. Hopefully that will be coming out later today. So let's just table that. The accomplishments, 11, we all agree that's one of the best accomplishments in sports. We're struggling to even come up with anybody in the history of sports coming up with a record that is close or as impressive. It's a unique and difficult record to compare with other sports, says Diego. Yes, it is. And it's a freak show. And Rafa, I love you for it. I love you for being a tennis freak. Okay. Next, we're going to go to the French Open. And it's almost a silly question. It's like, who are we going to find? It's like we have to, we almost have to invent a new tennis player. We know Roger Federer is not going to play the clay. And would Roger Federer, we'll even throw Roger Federer into the conversation here. Would Roger Federer, if he decided to somehow last minute play the clay, which we know he's not, I think he's making an intelligent decision, could he give any match to Nadal right now? Could he give any match to Nadal the way he's playing? Who is going to be the one? So here's the 2 questions I want you guys to comment on. Yeah, it's been like 9 years since Matt's last CBT. You guys love Coffee Break Tennis. It's only been a week. He'll be out there, I promise. Okay, so here's the question. Who's out there? Number 1, is Rafa going to win the French Open? I vote yes. I don't see anybody even coming close. But who are our pick? Who's the dark horse? Who could surprise him? So far, we've heard Isner. Isner would have to serve out of his mind. He'd have to hit like forehand winners all over the place and be physically strong enough to take 3 sets off of Rafa Nadal. I don't see that happen. I'm not sure there is anyone in the best era who could beat him 99%, Rafa, and I'm happy because of it. Yeah. Is there anybody in the history of tennis? What about Borg? What about Borg and Vilas? How would Borg and Vilas have done against Nadal? I think those are the only, we have to like bring them back in their prime and either make Rafa play with a wooden racket. Okay, this is a great question. Who would win wooden racket to wooden racket, Borg or Nadal? I wasn't even thinking of, that's like a brilliant thought right there that someone, that Luca just helped me come up with. Borg versus Nadal. I just watched Borg versus McEnroe, by the way. Great movie. Borg had 6 French Opens by the time he was 26. So he might have been able to win just as much on clay as Rafa. So Borg versus Nadal, wood racket to wood racket. Who wins that match? Okay, I know you can't do it realistically, obviously, but it's fun to talk. It'd be hard to go against Rafa. I mean, he's got the lefty factor too. He's got the lefty factor and more firepower. But Borg, I think, was the father of modern tennis, or one of them. How did Soderling take out Nadal? Nadal was not his full healthy self when Soderling beat him. And Soderling, when Nadal is not 100% physically fit to go and maybe nagging a little bit. Uh-oh, am I losing you guys? Okay, cool. Are you guys still there? It looks like my screen is freezing. Okay, I'm back. But he was hurt. I think Soderling and that body frame, like a Delpo body frame, if you're a tall dude and you can handle balls high in the shoulder, when Nadal is not at his best, he's hurt a little bit, then you can take out Nadal. But, you know, heard Borg was a legend, but sadly never saw him play. Go watch. There's plenty of great YouTube videos with Borg out there, guys. Go watch Borg play. Go watch his open stance forehand. Go watch his speed. He's awesome. He was awesome. And there's one thing that I love about watching Borg, and I know we're going off on a tangent here, is there was a match that he played against Vilas where they had like this insane rally, like literally lasted minutes on end. You think, well, Borg just pushed the ball around. But then go watch Borg play Lendl on an indoor court, and they're crushing the ball. It looked just like the tennis today. So Borg was incredible. Borg could scare Nadal easily in a clay court. He might be able to scare him. But that would be a match I would pay money to go see. I'd pay my last cent to go see that one. That would be awesome. Okay, but let's talk about this year. Could anybody stop him? Who are the people? Here, I'm just going to throw out some names. Dominic Thiem. Maybe this will really piss him off, and he'll get super motivated. And the next time they play, he'll give him a tougher battle. Hopefully. Let me know if he was hurt. That's the only way I can think he lost that badly. 6-0, 6-2. Nishikori, I don't think so. Too weak. Alexander Zverev, possibly if he serves big and hits big, he could maybe challenge Nadal on clay, but he just got destroyed a couple of weeks ago by Nadal in the Davis Cup. I mean, I'm struggling to come up with anybody. I'm trying to think. No way can Dimitrov do it. No way can Shapovalov do it. Busta, someone like a Busta, I don't know. Delpo on a good day. Delpo might be the only guy, but I picture that more on a hard court or at Wimbledon. I don't think Delpo can physically go with Nadal on clay. I don't think there's any matchup out there right now. Wawrinka, is he hurt? He's not going to play, right? Nishikori right now is stronger than Thiem. He's back, and yeah. I mean, that's the thing, guys. There is literally no contenders. Usually every year you have a couple people who are stepping up. You're like, ooh, I'd like to see that. Djokovic would have to just pull off a miracle of just getting more confident, getting more matches under his belt, being able to hit through the court more. I love Djokovic, but he just doesn't look like he can hit through the court. And when I saw him play, who did he lose to? Did he lose to Dominic? I think he lost the Thiem. He was clearly getting overpowered and didn't look as fast. Coric, born at court. Okay, also. I think these are like, I think when we're thinking of like Coric and we're thinking of Del Potro, we're like thinking of like really good sparring matches. But as far as an ability to actually win, Novak is great right now. I don't know if Novak's great right now. I think that's a strong statement. I would love to see it. Wawrinka got destroyed. I missed that. Wawrinka, did he play? Cilic is not going to beat him on clay. Where did that? Oh, someone retracted the message. Wawrinka, isn't he hurt? Cilic, maybe. I mean, that dude has a huge serve, and he's got better ground strokes than Cilic might be. Okay, that's a dark horse. Cilic serves big. He's a big guy. Nadal gets a little hurt or a little tired. I'm going to put that in there. Okay, that's the one name I think mentioned. So good job there. Who said Cilic? Okay, Luka, good job. I'm going to go, that's the only name I've heard so far. I'm like, yeah, maybe I could see that. I could see Nadal, if he loses a little bit of confidence, and I could see that. I don't think it will happen, but I think that's a legit name out there. Who else? Anybody else I'm not thinking of before we just give Nadal the trophy? I had somebody on the top tip of my, it was like on my brain, but then I lost it. Zverev will lose early. I wouldn't be surprised if Zverev loses early. Guys, if you're watching this, my name is Pete from Crunch Time Coaching, and our YouTube channel is all about tennis instruction, but we also like to come on, do the live chats, and talk about pop tennis. And of course, we got Coffee Break Tennis with Matt. Okay, Chung. Okay. Gremsa, is that how you say it? Gremsa says, what about Chung? And that was, when I went like this and I was thinking, that's who I was trying to think of. And yes, maybe Chung could be a good contender. Lots of people have said he's the new Djokovic. And maybe if he plays really, really well, what they say about him is he moves great. He slides like Djokovic, can go into the splits, and he's like a backboard like Djokovic. And right now, in his career right now, he is playing with a little more firepower than Djokovic. So that might be a really good match to watch. Again, I give him a slight chance and think of it more like a sparring match. I don't think that Cilic would be a sparring match. I think Nadal would be pretty nervous going in that match and hoping that he feels really good. He plays with the right feelings, the right intensity, and then he could take out Cilic. But if he loses a little bit of confidence, lands the ball a little short, and Cilic is feeling the ball, that could be trouble. Last year, Chung close winning a set from Nadal. Close winning a set. That's different than winning a match. I am Korean, and I do support Chung, but I hope that this doesn't happen. Wow, you're okay. So more people are going for Nadal. So, all right, last on the list, I think everybody agrees we've got like very, very light contenders this year. Not a real contender. Maybe we have some good sparring partners that will give us a couple of entertaining points. Is everybody kind of on board with that? Do you agree with me? That's what I look at. Please subscribe to me, and I will say 10 back to you. Okay, Funny Talks. Subscribe for Funny Talks, I guess. Diego, El Chapo plays amazing. Okay, here is the last thing. Let's get some comments going. This is the last thing, and then we're going to sign off. How many French Opens will Nadal win? And then I'm going to get on and do some other cool stuff with my day. But this is a lot of fun talking to you guys. So let's talk about that. How many French Opens? How old is Nadal now? Is he still 31 or did he turn 32? 14, okay? Mark Melwin says 14. There you go, Shapovalov. Yeah, Shapovalov, not El Chapo, I guess. Yeah, he's fun to watch. Diego says 15. So you think he can win 5 more? He's 32 this year. Is he still 31 though right now? When is his birthday? When does he turn 32? I mean, think about this. He'd have to be winning on clay when 13. Okay, he'd have to be winning on clay when he's like 36, right? 32. If he wins 32, that'd be 12, 33, 13, 34, 14. 35, could he be, am I getting this right? 35, 15? I think that's doable. 35, 36, especially when you don't see, the tour needs somebody to come out of the woodwork. I don't know if they're on the tour yet. Maybe they're like 15, 16, 17. We need some phenom who really shows us this more than talent and potential, but really steps up and beats one of these guys. The way Sampras did it, right? The way McEnroe did it to Borg. The way who else? The way Borg came up. I mean, all these young people came up and just started crushing people. Yes, at 36. Yeah, only play. Well, okay, this is a great one. Diego just mentioned. I think it would be a great strategy for Nadal to go into Roger mode, and I think he kind of did this year. I think he probably could have played that Acapulco event. Is that where he was going to play, and then he pulled out? And I think he probably maybe could have played on the hard court season, but he thought, you know what, why am I going to do this? Because even if I won Indian Wells, how is that going to help me prepare for the French Open? I think Miami Open and Indian Wells are great fun tournaments for us as spectators to watch, but as far as really preparing you to win the next major important thing, it has no relevance. It has no relevance at all. So I think every year Nadal should play from now on. He should play the Australian Open. That gives him a chance to win another major, and it gives his body enough time to recover and skip all the other stuff until the clay court season. I think that's what he should do every year, kind of modeling after Federer, and then he could just keep destroying people, just like I anticipate Federer is going to do at Wimbledon. And those guys, unless someone steps up, like maybe Nadal's going to end up with like 28 French Opens, and Roger will end up with 24 Wimbledons or something like that. Like, I don't know. I just keep waiting for the shoe to drop on these guys, or for some young phenom to be like the next real deal, and it just never happens year after year. And Djokovic and Murray, who could have stopped the streak, and Djokovic was for a while, they are having such physical/mental problems that they've kind of taken themselves out of the game. Skip Acapulco, yes. Yeah, right. And play Indian Wells. No, don't play Indian Wells and Miami. No, don't play it. Waste of time. I disagree. He should play Miami because he's never won. Who cares? No one's going to remember that he never won Miami when he wins all these French Opens. Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal that he's missing the Miami. What do you guys think? I don't think it hurts his legacy at all. Not one bit that he hasn't won Miami. I don't think that means anything. You know, I think he'd maybe like to win there, but I disagree. I think he should just skip it. And the more he can just keep crushing the clay court season and winning these tournaments that he has 11 titles in. And, you know, imagine if he wins imagine if he wins the French and all Monte Carlo, Rome. Imagine if he has 15 titles in each of these. That's insane. He should not play Indian Wells anymore, neither Miami. Yes, I agree, Diego. Thank you. I agree. I'm gonna put it out there. Let's see, he's at 10 now. I think he can win. I'm debating between 13 and 14. Because as one thing that we've learned from Djokovic is as hot as you can be one moment. A couple of years ago, we were talking about Djokovic. At least I was thinking when he went through Australia and the French the way he did, I was thinking this guy might not lose a match the rest of the year. And ever since then, he's gone off the rails. So it can turn around fast. And Rafa is some guy who can be dominating and then all of a sudden put out a message that he's going to have to take the rest of the year off. I mean, that could happen. But if it doesn't happen, if he somehow can stay healthy with his knees and his wrist and the things that tend to get him, I'm going to say 14. 14's mine. Okay. If you like this, guys, before you go, give this a thumbs up. It helps me get my message out there to the world, and these are fun. I love doing these live chats with y'all. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, subscribe, because if you check out our channel after this video is over, you'll see we have lots of cool tennis instruction. We do talk about the Pro Tour like this on live broadcast. You can see some of Matt's original Coffee Break Tennis shows on there. Make sure you also go over to Coffee Break Tennis and subscribe, because that is the fastest growing tennis talk show on the internet. And that is it, my friends. Lucas says, Djokovic, Murray, Wawrinka should use this tactic as they're getting older. Yeah, well, they're just trying to get on the darn court at this point, Luca. Their tactic is just like get out on the court. They're having a tough time playing one tournament and two tournaments in a row. Poor Djokovic, he's yet to come up with a monstrous comeback like Roger and Rafa. Yeah, and what Roger did, I mean, guys, don't freak out too much about what Djokovic is doing, because he's barely playing matches. He claims he's feeling better physically. What Roger did is not normal. Even Roger wasn't expecting to do what Roger did. And Roger has done everything. Everything's always come so easy to him, and he wasn't expecting everything to come as fast as it did. Indoor is too fast for him. I guess he should tire. Yeah, I don't think he needs to play indoor season, although he likes to play it. But really, get your Rafa Nadal, get your Australian Opens in. You can probably still win another one, especially with the heat. You know, if you're feeling good, you're so strong physically, you can win another Australian Open. Who cares about Wimbledon? Play it, but who cares? And why didn't Matt make another show at 11? I bet he's in editing mode, Luca. And go to the U.S. Open. You know, he's proven he can win a U.S. Open. Rafa can win another U.S. Open. He did it again this year, and he looked awesome. So I think that's what he should get up for every year. Aussie, French, U.S. Open, skip the hard court season leading up to the clay court season. Play the indoor court season as a bonus if you feel like it, Rafa. If not, take a break. Go to Mallorca and lay on the beach. You deserve it, buddy. And my feeling, let me know what you guys think. I don't need Roger and Rafa to be playing every week. I will take them skipping some weeks and even some months if I can get more years of fun tennis, because They are the only rock stars in tennis right now, you know, barring Serena Williams. If Serena Williams can make a comeback on the women's tour, which is going to be super hard, but if she can do it, only 3 rock stars in tennis, guys. Djokovic was starting to become a rock star, but I don't know. Only 3 rock stars. Roger, Rafa, Serena. Everything else, they leave the tour. We are in big trouble. So the youngsters out there, you guys got to start balling and you got to start winning consistently, because we keep trying to get excited for y'all. We're patient as fans and keep making excuses, but you got to start winning some matches. That's all I got to say. Okay, what do you guys think of that? Nadal does not need another injury. No. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for being on. I'm going to turn this off. Kyrgios, yeah, Kyrgios, good one. Kyrgios ain't going to win no French Open, but I would like to see Kyrgios do something. I would love to see Kyrgios do something. Thank you so much. Like this video before you leave it. Subscribe if you've never watched this before, and we'll see you on future videos. And if you have a couple minutes, search around on the YouTube channel, and you will see some cool instruction on your serve, on your forehand, backhand. Plus, we even have free bonus training if you watch a lot of our videos to the end. So everybody have a great day.